Spoke Shabbos about the story of life insurance. If it's considered a lack of bitochen, if it's chayiv to have insurance, if it's chayiv de'eraisa, the rabbanon, or it's a good idea or a bad idea. Anyway, the bottom line was that we spoke about this, and there's a Gemara that talks about the Shabbos at a person that his wife passed away, and there's the Eibishter made a nest. And that he was able to nurse his baby like a woman. The Gemara has a machlokes, according to one opinion, is kama gerua adam zeh shenishtar of shidrei bereishis. That how terrible is this person that the sidrei bereishis would change for him. That he required a miracle in order to nurse the baby. In other words, what would be better? If he had a job and he made an income and he was able to buy formula for the baby, that would have been better. So this also, the Moshe adds in his Tshuva, it says that a person has to try not to be Meshana Sidrei Bereishis. A person has to try to lead his life in business, and has to be in a way of teva. So if insurance makes sense for you, so you should do it. If it's and one more nekuda is that we find in the ksuba that Chazal, in the ksuba, it's written in the ksuba, but it's called the Tanoi ksuba, that a person has from his nechosim, that the woman lives off his nechosim after he dies, and the daughters live off the nechosim after he dies. So see that Chazal, even though they didn't require a person to work extra hours to put away money for his wife after he dies, that she should have nechosim to collect from on the Tanoi Ksuva, but we see that Chazal were concerned. So it makes sense for a person to provide for his wife and children. If Chatz v'Shalom, he won't live a long life. So here is another tshuva, the cute tshuva from a Moshe, where someone asks him advice, what kind of insurance he should get. Doesn't, basically from the description it seems that the question was, should he get a term or whole life policy? What's the best? Term or whole life policy? Moshe has just unbelievable. It's like this thing toted like in the, it says, what business? You ask me a shayla business. You ask me a shayla business. But yes, the shayla. So let's see how pitoida. What so is gehalten on pitoida? Unbelievable. It's just cute, and it's remarkable. So he says like this. Let's read it inside. Isa b'Gemara nida. Gemara says, Amar Yitzchak Dvei Bami Bo Zochel Olam Bakikar B'Yodei. When a little boy comes in his world, he comes with a loaf of bread in his hand. Zocher is zekar. Which is a loaf of bread. Nekeva eini maklum. That's the word nekeva. Nekeva nekiya ba. She comes clean with nothing. She ad amra mezoina until she asks for her food. Lo yavila. Neksiv nokva lai schorcha levetena. That it's a play on words. That he said, tell me how much schar you want. Nokva could read nekeva.
You mean lava?
Lava. So nokva you can read as nekeva. So the nekeva has to ask, like the Mashal says, that there could be a question, and then she could say it's not enough. So bottom line is that a man, and then there's another story here in the Gemara in Brachas, that Ula Ikla the Beit of Nachman, Kori Chlifta, they ate bread. Sure. Kori Chlifta, they ate bread. And at the end of the Suda, Baruch Bechel Mazayna, they had Bechel Mazayna. Yovel Lekos the Bechosei, that there was a kosher bracha, and Ula gave to and Nachman gave to Ula a kosher bracha to bench. Amar Loi, Ula gave to Reb Nachman the kosher bracha that he used for benching. Amar Loi Reb Nachman lishader mar kos the bechos liyalta. So Reb Nachman said that maybe we should send the kosher bracha to my wife to drink. Ula said, that whatever is in the woman's kishkes, the brach is from the kishkes of the man. Tanya Reb Nos nemer menayin shein pri bitne shlish mezberach al pri bitne shlish nemer berach pri bitnocha pri bitlo nemer pri bitnocha. So the Torah says that the bracha comes to the woman through her husband. The parshas, the Gemara is talking about when you're having a baby. So the bracha, there is the seed of the father and the seed of the mother, and the bracha comes through the parshas. It's not only talking about that, because who says Reb Nachman and Yalta were at the age of having children? Maybe they were elderly couple. But in from this, Chazal understood that just like Lagabi having children, that the seed of the woman is blessed through the seed of the man. When the Eibishter blesses the man with that he's going to have Zarachai v'Kayom and the woman will be nimshich into that bracha. So same thing here by benching. Don't worry, if you drank the kosher bracha, it's good for your wife too. And the Hachashama Yalta heard the discussion. Kama Bezira, she stood up in anger. V'oltzala be'chamra, she went into the storage house of the wine. V'tovra dalad meya dona de chamra, and she broke 400 barrels of wine. She was really angry to hear this.
No, he tried to give her a different cup.
Then he tried to give her a different cup, and she said, Smartuti Mili. She said, Shmatas, this Ula guy. She was really angry at him. And he must have become a Chacham, but he was walking a long way, and he was walking with his Shmatas. He said, don't tell me a story with Alta Shmatas over there. This guy with this beggar is just telling me Droshes over here. So she's not only she was a feminist, but when a guy came and said something that was not flattering to women, so it didn't matter that his name was Ula, but she had something to say about him. She was the daughter of the Geresh Galusa.
Okay,
So yeah, you can hear what's going on.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Nachman was his father-in-law, pointed him and dying, like the one at the beginning of Sanhedrin. So his wife. The wife was at a big yichas. Her father was the Reish Galusa. So the moral of the story is, even though it's true, that send over kosher bracha to your wife.
The Rebbe always insisted that the kosher bracha be sent to the wife.
The women as well. Okay, fine. Very good.
Never heard that, but it's okay. It's not. It sounds good. It sounds real.
Okay, Akoponim. So I talked to Moshe that if you look at it this way,
Especially Rebbe gave you, but
yeah, the Rebbe gave to
When
the
the
man.
Rebbe finished,
Yeah.
every time the cup and the cover it and take to his room. For what?
for later maybe. For a dollar for Kiddush.
To give the Rebbe.
The Rebbetzin, yeah, but he never said to give to your wife kosher bracha.
He said the Rebbe, to his Rebbe.
For the Rebbetzin, yeah, maybe. But nobody knows that.
So Akaponim, here's the thought that Moshe has. Agav, before we go to the Chassidus actually has about this there's a beautiful beer about this. Chassidus says that there seems to be a contradiction in Chazal. On the one hand, we say that the bracha to the woman comes through the man. The parnosa, in other words, where does the parnosa come to the family? Through the husband. It says beferish in the Ksuba sector, ano eisen ve'eflach ve'oiker ve'farnes yisichi lichi ki hilchas guvrin yudon zon ve'moiker ve'farnes from the Shem bekushta. That he says that he's gonna provide. In other words, it's totally in him, in his chus. And then with his Maimah Chazal that says ein odam nizan ela b'shvil ishtoi. That the mezonos of a person is in the schus of his wife, and the Gemara says befedish that in Baba Metzia lavram heitiv ba'avura, that when a person's ashirus is only b'schus ishtoi. So if you treat your wife well, so you have ashirus, it's b'schus ishtoi. So befedish in Gemara in Baba Metzia l'choyr it's a stira. So Chassidus is a beautiful beer. Chassidus says that the parnasa comes from the husband. True. However, as Chassidus says, that why is it that the parnasa comes on Rosh Hashanah? So why do you have to daven every day? So Chassidus says that the parnasa on Rosh Hashanah is sitting in a bank account somewhere there. And who says it's going to translate into coming down into this world as Bona Chayim Azayna Revicha, what you need? Could be it'll stay over there, but that's not what you need. You don't need it there in the bank account locked up in some oil and
Escrow account.
escrow account. You don't need it. You want it. Tapor of the placha. You need the money right now in the greenbacks. You don't want it oil matzilus. So exactly. So Mela, how does it come down? That is there's a shvil, there's a road, there's a shvil that brings it down. Just like it says that the Go'olam is nizam b'shvil chaninim b'zni, through the shvil that the tzaddik makes, that he brings down the mshocha. So, ano ef lach v'oike v'farnes yisichilichi kehilchas govrin yedoim. That there's the parnosa comes from the zocher. The zocher and the cave are two halves of one whole. So taka, the parnasa is from the zocher. Zocher bar loylam kikar biyad. A little boy comes to the world. He's ready right away born with a loaf of bread in the hand. A girl not, because the loaf of bread is in the hand of the boy that was born somewhere else, the other akvel. However, in order for that parnasa that's somewhere in a bank account lamaila in the olam ruchni should translate, that's bishvil in the road that's made from Ishta. Faket, as Gemara Mametzia, when he treats his wife well, the Beschus Ishta, Labram Heitim Bavuda, that the Ashiris will become a schus of his Mela, says Moshe. So a person shouldn't worry that much for his lifetime. So he said, well, if you can pay the same amount and have a larger policy, that will only come in the case of Rahman al-Atzlan death. He says, because then the woman is more, she needs more schusim to provide for herself, because her loaf of bread is in his hand. As shanifta gevan, where's the loaf of bread? It's a noise. So now she needs stronger schusim to have parnasa. So sayos, a person should think about his wife lacha moisa, because that's from the Tnoi Ksuba. We see Chazal say a person should think about what's going to happen with his wife and daughters after he passes away. Taking out the sons will get Yerusha, but if he has to think about his wife and daughters. So Mamela, he says, if a whole life policy is, first of all, it's a smaller amount, and also it's you could take out after 65, you could take out some geld, but you're getting, if you apples to apples, the same amount of money, you're getting be'enaroich less on the policy that his whole life. The same amount of money, if you did for a term, you'd be be'enaroich more. So that's why he advised that the term is a better policy.
But who said that?
The brokers that go around saying there's a tshuva in Moshe that doesn't exist, that's saying that Sachiv Deiraisa to buy a policy, but they don't tell you that the Moshe thought that maybe term is a better, because they don't make that much money on the term policy. They make they make the money on the whole. So this exactly.
But who said that he's going to die before her?
No, but Albert says you have to get term.
Oh yeah? Oh, okay, fine. Maybe shall help from them. All Yidden should have Arichas Yom Mishanim Tovos, and they shouldn't need, and even the people selling policy should have Arichas Yom and make a good parnas.
Actually, I got my policy for barrel for Brunston.
Oh, okay.
He's actually pretty honest. He's actually selling the term.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Very nice. So yesterday there was a shaila that someone asked. It says that he come to shul and he came late. So the Mele has a shaila like this. He could daven musaf. Across the street there's a minyan Shabbos. There's a minyan that davens mincha gedola on Shabbos. And he could daven while they're davening Shmoneh Esrei mincha. He could daven musaf and mincha. I can beweisen a kunz. He could daven musaf and mincha. So should he go across the street and daven musaf and mincha while they're davening Shmoneh Esrei? So it's as if he daven musaf with the minyan. Or should he daven here hoicha Shmoneh Esrei? Yeah. So I don't understand. If you're going there, the Shem nicht that they're davening Shmoneh Esrei, and while they're davening one Shmoneh Esrei, you daven two Shmoneh Esreis? No, but I do like Lubavitch.
You're not davening Lubavitch.
Right, so you're not davening Lubavitch, daven there. It's a minhag makom. You're not embarrassed to daven so fast? No, he's not embarrassed. He's not embarrassed. For that, he's a Lubavitcher, you know? Like they had an old professor in my shul in the Bronx. He used to say, he was a very choshev mishpocha, the Rosh Yeshivas here, in one of the big yeshivas. So he said, but he wasn't the Rosh Yeshiva style. But he's got from a Yid. So he's Rabbi every Shabbos. He had his Rabbi in the Shabbos morning. I'm a Lubavitcher. In other words, he eats before he comes to shul. He eats breakfast. So, what's the din taka? What's taka the din? So it's Mutaka Mafurish Gemara, and it's a whole siman of Shulchan Aruch. It's interesting lomdus. So the Gemara says like this. It's a very gishmak sugya. The Gemara says it's a brachas of Chavches. Omer Rabbi Yochanan. Mishum Masovim kol hayoyim. You can daven musaf a whole day. Omer Rabbi Yochanan v'nikra parshios. A person that davens any time in the day musaf is called a parshios. You should daven up to 7 hours in the day musaf. That means you should make sure that the dav finish musaf when it comes to 1 hour after chatzos hayoyim. Again, Mustamed the Chassidim that the daven Shabbos Barichus Gedoyla didn't come roll into shul at 11:30, but they started Achonas Latfila Ba'ira Boiker, and they davened to 2 hours after Chatzos, 3 hours after Chatzos, 4 hours. That's a different business.
Was the letter in the last 6 months? I'm shocked to hear that you daven without a minion. You should start. Obviously, you had fun as to do everything else. We should start with the minion.
Start with the minion. Anyway, so a person that davens after Shor Shvi, nish from the Chassidim that started with the minion, is called a parshios. Okay. Person has 2 tefillas in front of him. Achas shel mincha, achas shel musaf. 1 mincha, 1 musaf. Spal shel mincha, achas spal shel musaf. He should daven first mincha. Why? Shezu tadira, vezu eina tadira. This is tadir and this is not tadir.
But mincha he could daven later, so mincha he has.
Still, since he has in front of him, it's a kal. Tadir v'she'eina tadir, tadir koydem.
We don't do that.
No, but you asked is a good child. I want to get to it in a second. Rabbi Yehuda Omer.
We don't do that.
Who says we don't do that? No, you'll see in a second. Rabbi Yehuda Omer. Rabbi Yehuda says we don't do that. It's true. Mispal shel musaf, akich mispal shel mincha. Rabbi Yehuda says that you daven first musaf. Shezu mitzvah veres, shezu mitzvah she'eina veres. This is a mitzvah that's passing. But mincha he could daven even after the 7th hour, and also he could be mashlam it later. The halacha is that you have to daven first mincha. In other words, tadir v'she'eina tadir, tadir koydem.
This is Yachid or with the Rabbi?
So, good question.
Because mincha is Sefer Torah, so it's better than Musaf.
We'll talk about this in the Shulchan Aruch. Shulchan Aruch, I'm going straight to the Alter Rebbe because Alter Rebbe brings already b'chlal his words, everything that's here. Hoy lefonav shtei tefillas. A person has in front of him 2 tefillas adav. Achas shel mincha, achas shel musaf. Mincha musaf. Go in. Sheichel is ba'al musaf. Achas shel gid man mincha. He didn't daven musaf, and it's already the time of mincha. Daina shei shot samechta 6.5 hours in the day. In other words, it's 1:30 already. Sorry, lispal shel mincha tchila. Person has to daven mincha. Lefi shehi tadira yoyse mit tefillas hamusaf. This is more tadir. Chalot tadir is chaveri, koydem is chaveri. Tadir v'she'eina tadir is a golden rule. Tadir is koydem. Tadir means something that's common. Something that's common. Everything they think goes first. The Gemara learns it out in Zvachim.
Using the korbanos as a makor in the mikdash, they brought the korban tamid in the morning. They brought the korban tamid
in the afternoon, and everything was sandwiched.
They brought the korban musaf in the mikdash before or after the.
Right, you're asking a good question. We'll get to it in a second. I think the Alter Rebbe is talking about this. Medvar morning tzarich atal spalstein. The Alter Rebbe is not talking about this here, so I'll get to it in a minute.
Okay.
The Medvar morning tzarich spalstein. When are we talking about? When you have 2 tefillas and you have to daven both of them. You're obligated now to daven mincha and musaf. Why are you obligated to daven? There's a long day in front of you. If he has to eat a tzuda gedoyla, or a small meal, depending on how you hold. What's also to eat before mincha, tzuda gedoyla or tzuda ketana, and now you need to eat a meal. It's also to eat until you can have mincha. It's explained some beis. So therefore, it's not supposed to be shenizbor. As I tzarech la'agdima. So now you have to have mincha before, because now you're chayiv to daven 2 tefillas, musaf and mincha, and you don't know which one to do first. So what's the tiebreaker? The rule: tod v'she'eina tod koydem. If he doesn't have to daven mincha, yochalaktem shel musaf. He could daven musaf first. Medvar morning shadayin le'gizman tefillas mincha ktana. That's if it didn't come yet the time of mincha ktana. She ikar tefillas mincha, which that's the ikar time of davening mincha. But shegia ikar zman, when it comes to ikar zman of davening mincha, tzarich like dima b'cholin, you have to be magdem. You must be magdem mincha. In other words, once it's already mincha ktana, 2.5 hours before the night, then you mechuyev. Why? Because according to this opinion, there's a machlokes that Rishonim what's the ikar inyan from mincha. Many Rishonim hold, like the Rambam holds, l'chatchil you chayv daven mincha ktana. But the if you daven mincha, that's the Rambam said. But the you daven mincha gedoyla, you're yoytze. But according to the Rambam, it's not a big yichus to daven mincha gedoyla. There's people, someone tells me, I daven every day mincha gedoyla minyan. Okay, whatever. If you need to daven, then you daven them. But it's not like the biggest yichus, not the biggest hidden mitzvah.
It's not like Nates, which is the.
It's not like Nates, exactly. I daven Nates. Oh, I daven Vasikin. Yeah. Halacha, no, the halacha is kosher, but we say that.
I think doesn't it saying the Gemara about mincha? It's a mitzvah and a mufcha. Right.
But then the Gemara says I'm not lying. Okay, but upon the Rambam holds the ikar mitzvah is mincha ktana. Okay, fine. However, other Rishonim hold no. Most Rishonim hold it makes no difference. Mincha gedoyla, mincha ktana. Once it's a half hour after chatzos, it's all the same thing.
If you have a choice to daven mincha ktana and legal mincha, you better go to daven mincha.
Some people would think that way, but the Rambam holds no, better to daven mincha ktana because he holds the ikar zman of minchas from mincha ktana. So that's what this opinion here. The first opinion says that if it's already the zman of mincha ktana,
even though we say as soon as you do a mitzvah,
yeah, because that's the ikar. No, the Rambam holds that's the ikar zman. The ikar zman is from mincha ktana, daven mincha. That's the most. And based on mikdash, that was the time usually they did the.
Oh, they brought the korban late afternoon.
Later, right. It was Erev Pesach, Shecholi is Erev Shabbos that they did the half hour after Chatzos, the korban Tomit Shel Ben Arbaim. So this again, let's summarize this opinion. This opinion holds that once you're mincha ktana 2.5 hours to the night, then you're mechuyev to daven mincha right now. So therefore, you are mechuyev to daven mincha first. But anything before that depends: are you planning to eat a big meal or not planning to eat a big meal? Second opinion is it doesn't matter from after chatzos. Probably this opinion holds that mincha makes a difference mincha gedoyla mincha ktana. You're yesh lefonim, you're mechuyev to daven now mincha. So because you're mechuyev to daven mincha, so you have a shayla mincha musaf. So todir, v'sheina todir, whatever's the regular comes first, which is mincha comes first. Yesh lochish l'ibreim. You should be chosh for this opinion only to the extent that lizor b'yom kippurim to be nizar yom kippur shemarichim b'tfilah shachar she'aschal musaf kodim sheishem echza. You should start musaf before 6.5 hours in the day, which is 1:30 or 12:30 usually. Kedei shelo yitzarchu l'spalo mincha tchila. They shouldn't have the problem of davening mincha first. However, it's already after 6.5 hours in the day. Even it's already mincha ktana, that the people shouldn't make a mistake. The Gemara was talking about biyochid. Okay, so mashma from the Alter Rebbe that he holds that the Ikar really is the first. The Mishnah Berurah doesn't make it clear according to who he holds the Ikar Halacha. Alter Rebbe makes it quite clear that he holds that the Ikar Halacha is the first opinion. Now, Lamai should be choishish for the second opinion. So therefore, once you have 6.5 hours in the day from Mincha Gedoyla to Mincha Ktana, basically, you're not mechuyev to daven mincha unless you're planning to eat a suda gedoyla. What's a suda gedoyla? Alter Rebbe doesn't say, but the Mishnah Berurah says. Look right here. The Mishnah Berurah. Mashra ad marzak sheshlochish kaidem mincha ktana la'aschal musaf chatzos lapoil ein chayiv l'spal mincha kaidem. Elam kan echel suda gedoyla. And what's the Mishnah Berurah say? What's a mincha? What's a suda gedoyla? Lefi my damasik b'ramah. Ein less alechel kaidem mincha kishigiz man mincha gedoyla l'suda gedoyla. Suda Shabbos loy mikra suda gedoyla. Befrata idna shesemcha makriya l'beisek netzes l'mincha ein tzarech l'spal ata mincha.
Even though you have a zman kavua for mincha later.
Faket, he's saying if you have, because today people have a zman kavua and the shamash goes around calling people, and the Shabbos meal is not called a suda gedoyla, only like a bris or a chasana, and the Ramah paskins that if you're allowed to eat a suda ktana before mincha. So the Mishnah Berurah says because of all this, if you have to go home to eat a Shabbos meal, that's not called a suda gedoyla. So therefore, between mincha gedoyla, mincha ktana, it's up to you. You're not mechuyev to daven mincha first. You're not mechuyev. There's not a din in the Gemara todav. You're not mechuyev. You're not mechuyev to daven mincha first. What should you do? What should you do? Okay, so like this. The shaila that this person asked me was b'chlal not a shaila in this case, because the shaila was asked and it was before 1:30. So you only had a chiyuv to daven musaf. There was not yet a chiyuv to daven mincha. So to wait later to daven, because he thinks he's going to consider with davening with a minyan. B'chlal, that's a big machloikas. If you're davening one tefillah and the minyan is davening another tefillah, we spoke about this a few weeks ago. And you're not davening with a minyan. According to many poskim, the Taz and the Mogen Avram both hold that's not considered davening with the minyan. If you're a choch, they're davening mincha, you're davening shachris. They're davening ma'ariv, you're davening mincha. Mutzvah, the Mogen Avram and the Alter Rebbe paskins that way only. We have the Alter Rebbe and Simon Tzadik. The Alter Rebbe paskins, the person that's davening at home should try to daven the same time the minyan is davening. Shulchan Aruch says, however, they bring it here later in the note. Mispalim Musa b'shashat tzibur mispalim shachris oila heipach ein nikra b'shashat tzibur mispalim. Alter Rebbe says, if they're davening shachris and you're davening musaf, yeah, or the other way around, that's not called davening the time of the minyan davening. The Mogen Avram holds even if you're in the shul and they're davening ma'ariv and you came in, they're davening early ma'ariv and you're davening mincha, that's not called davening with a minyan. The El Yerabba argues. He says it is considered davening with a minyan. So I'm saying, B'chlal, this thing that this guy thinks that when he's going to come late and it does machne shtois, he's going to chap and he's davening with a minyan because they're davening one tefillah, is davening another tefillah. So that's B'chlal shoni b'machloikis, if that's true or not. The Mogen Avram Taz hold not. Okay, so it's not called davening with a minyan anyway. Now if you're before chatzois, you're mechuyev to daven now musaf. If you're going to wait till after Shor Shvi'is, it's called a parshios. So waiting till you're now chayiv only to daven musaf. And daven musaf, you're going to wait later to chap a minyan, which according to most poskim is not considered a minyan b'chlal. And if you miss out the time of Shor Shvi'is, you're called a parshios. It's like anyway. If you're at now, so therefore, but a theoretical shaila had it been after chatzos, what's the din? So Taka person is probably going home to eat a suda, but the Mishnah Berurah says we passing like the Ramah. This guy would ask if it was Ashkenazi. For Sfardi, would Taka be a problem? The Sfardim passing like the Mechaber, and the Mechaber holds that Suda Shabbos is considered, and therefore you would be chayiv to daven. You'd have a chayiv toder, you'd chayiv to daven mincha first. But if you're Ashkenazi, so you're not till it comes mincha ktana. It's up to you if you want to daven first musaf or mincha. And therefore, this is where the Kaf HaChaim comes in. The Kaf HaChaim says that the Arizal was very makbid, you should daven the tefillas in the Seder. Daven the tefillas in the Seder. You have to daven the tefillas in the Seder. There's you're going to jump. Yeah, you jump. You can't jump. There's a certain Seder how you go in tefillah, in Kedusha. You can't jump around. Are you going the right way? You're not going the right way. You have to go the right way. Okay, so if you have onus, but Elisa was very makpid. So when as we know from the Alter Rebbe Simon and Simon Ches, that when there's a machlokes between Kabbalah and the Mekubalim and the Poskim, so you go with the Poskim. But over here, there's no machlokes. According to this opinion, with the Alter Rebbe Paskin, like this opinion, between Mincha G'dayla and Mincha Ktana, the fact that you have to eat in Shir the Shabbos doesn't mean that you're chayiv to have a mincha. It's not like the only Todd of Shein Todd is only when you have it true. You must do the two. So you must do mincha. But now it's up to you. It's up to you if you want to do mincha or you want to do musaf. And the Kaf HaChaim brings from the Arizal that the Arizal was very makbid that you should do the Seder. I think Kedayu the Arizal to be choishish for his words. It's up again. It's up between mincha gedola and mincha ktana lahalocha. It's up to you. Once it's if you're a Sfardi and you have to go eat to the Shabbos, or you're Ashkenazi and it's already after Mincha Ktana. So if it's after Mincha Ktana and you didn't have Musaf yet, there's a problem here. What's happening?
Even though you have Mincha later.
No, I'm saying if a person's after it's a Mincha Ktana, he didn't have Musaf yet. I mean,
he was busy. He was doing something. He was
that means already.
Huh?
No. It's 2.5 hours before Shkia, but still.
He was busy. He was busy with the mitzvah.
He got carried away.
He was busy with the mitzvah.
Before me. On Simchas Torah.
That's already against.
On Simchas Torah, it could happen.
Could happen maybe some Torah. Okay.
I've seen it happen on Simchas Torah.
Okay, it could happen.
It's an interesting concept. Alter Rebbe writes in a siddur, or they bring in a footnote. It's in a shayr dom, but it's interesting concept. By Yom Kippur, it says if you daven b'yichidus,
Ain't sorry.
ain't sorry. So even if you come in a shul and there is a tzibur, and tzibur is holding somewhere else, for you it's yichidus. You daven b'yichidus, so you don't have to say it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's similar to this.
Right. So Bamela, summarize. If the person is before Mincha Gedoyla, he's chayiv to daven Musaf and Dreinish Tinkov. And the Bechlal, this thing of davening, Minyan is davening one tefillah, davening the other tefillah is shown in B'machloikas. Parshas is it's not considered Mispal Matzibah. Between Mincha Gedoyla and Mincha Ktana, it's up to you what you want to daven first. But it's preferable to go like that Izal. That Izal says you go beseder. After Mincha Ktana, Taki you Mechuyev Toda Sheina Toda. That's what the Gemara says. The halacha you Mechuyev to daven Mincha first. Okay, that's the bottom line. That's the halacha.
It's okay, you can tell him as
Now, faket, I told him to do Eichik Dusha, even though L'chayr everyone gets so irritated here from the
Not everyone. Certain elements.
sometimes he doesn't know the Fabrengen.
Right. Right. So, but still, I have to tell him what's true.
It's interesting how everybody knows that we're talking about one person.
It's a secret. But they
Okay, well, maybe.
he didn't say any names.
No names.
But we know who it is.
They'll have to come on Sunday to defend themselves.
I'm not so sure that Shiva. The guy said, it's Lashon Hara, says, I never said the name,
Okay, we have a few more minutes. I'd like to do a third shaila. It's a beautiful shaila I saw in Varev. No, he said his father-in-law, Rabbi Elyashiv, gets a call one day. So it was someone working in a clinic. And he said a yid came into the clinic, and he asked him to bandage his hand.
Shabbos?
No, Monday. But he says, you have no wound. What do you need? He said, what do you care? I'm going to pay you. He says, but why do you need it? He says, problem is I finish work at 4 o'clock. My wife wants me home right after work. I like to hang out, talk to the guys. Mishmuas, last week I had an unbelievable fight with my wife. I told her, this week I'm coming home on time every day. After Tzalochas, I forgot, I got into a Geshmaka conversation. And now I'm an hour late to coming home. So if I come home, I'm wounded, my wife will feel bad for me. It says, I'm Sholem Bayis. So you're doing a mitzvah, you're helping Sholem Bayis.
Well, it never stops. He's fooling her.
Okay, so this guy called it. He says that's what about. He's a halal. That's the story. This was parsha. The Aaron used to lie for Sholem Bayis. Exactly.
Yeah.
But go for Aaron.
Yeah.
Help the Eibush. All 3 shilas this week has the shaykhs of the parsha. The insurance is kiyomos and the spala l'lein of Yosef. It's hanochash for shayla matfila and go for Aaron.
The second one is the shine of every Shabbos.
No, but this Shabbos it says in the parsha. Hashgacha pratas the shilas again. So go for Aaron is to make sholem.
When you talk about the insurance, I hear the husband and wife fighting. The wife said to the husband, what if they die? I make more money. Oh, that's the lie. I'm sorry, I didn't say that.
What? What did you say?
You worth more money after that than before.
The guy says he's very uncomfortable doing it because he's not. He's supposed to do. He's supposed to do medical treatment. So he said, Rabbi Elyashiv said that no, you're mechuyev to bandage him. Unless you think he's trying to do some fraud against insurance, but if you believe him that it's only a maisa dispute between him and his wife, you're mechuyev to bandage him. Why? He says, why are you b'chlal in the medical business? Who put you there? The Torah says, "V'ashivayseloi," that there's just like there's a shavas moment, there's a shavas gufoy that you're mechuyev to help another yid. Madach if he lost a package, or you have to do a shavas aveda. Kolchkin, if he lost his health, you have to help him and bandage him. That's why it's taka shaila how a doctor's allowed to take money to treat a Jewish patient. Okay, and a wife is the chizaveda. It says a person looks for his wife kamach zerach aveda. So Mabela, he says just like you're mechuyev. It's cute. Just like you're mechuyev to treat a patient because hashivaysaloi. So now, what's his shalom bayis is not important. It's shalom bayis, and he's lying, but he's allowed to lie to have shalom bayis. So he said, unless you think that he's trying to do insurance fraud, chas v'shalom he's a ganav, but stam, if you believe him, that it's only that if you believe his story, that he had a deal with his wife, and v'chulu, and he's going to come in with a bandit, she'll have rachmanis on him, and after that he'll be a good boy, is you're mechuyev to bandit.
If the wife is very smart, she'll say, let me open it, let me check it out.
No. She's a health freak. She'll say, I have a quick for you.
Well, what does the doctor do?
At the end of the day, she knows her own mind. A woman knows.
I think
I try to lie to my wife. It doesn't work. That's lying.
and it's not kedai. Not kedai.
So what did the doctor do in that case?
I don't know.
Aaron is not a lie. He told her.
Right.
He didn't feel connected.
It's not about
Right.
that. It's if he comes up, she knows that he feels bad. That's it. Yeah.
Woman has been a terror. She knows more than a man.
He feels bad.
He went to the hospital. He spent another hour. I don't know.
I heard from my father there was a chassid that his wife sent him to buy a dozen of eggs. I said, Rabbi Yochanan. As on the way, he saw a wagon. He said, where you guys going? We're going to the Rebbe. He jumped in the wagon. He forgot about it. So Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Simchas, everything he's doing over there with the Rebbe. After Simchas Torah, they're all coming home. As they're coming into the city, they say, oi, my wife asked me to buy eggs.
Oh no.
She's waiting for that. So he run home. He opened the door and he's stuck, and all the doors fall on the floor and a whole mess. He said, you see what happened to my Rosh?
Very good.
Good. Hatzlacha.